back to the movie script. My name's John, and this is my non-spoiler Venom review. I'm only gonna talk about things that were in the trailers, but I'm gonna try to give you a detailed description of the movie without talking about the plot. So, Venom is the latest comic adaptation based on the iconic Spider-Man character of the same name, Venom. And this story follows Eddie Brock, a reporter who's investigating the Life Foundation. Eddie Brock's being played by Tom Hardy. This is not his first time doing a comic book movie. He played Bane in The Dark Knight Rises. The Life Foundation is an organization practicing experiments on humans, and they're actually responsible. We see in the trailer are in possession of the symbiotes, which is where Venom comes from, and their leader is played by Riz Ahmed. He plays Carlton Drake, who is the leader of the Life Foundation and becomes Eddie Brock's arch nemesis. And Eddie Brock's wife is played by Michelle Williams and Wang, who in the comics, in the most of the time in the comics they're no longer together. So but in this movie they are together. They're married. Now, director Ruben Fleischer, who's directed Zombieland, among other movies, but that's one of the ones that I can remember pretty clearly. They they chose a PG-13 rating for this movie, and I believe that is something that undoubtedly holds the movie back because Venom is an aggressive and brutal character. Even though lately he hasn't been as aggressive and brutal as he was in the early 90s, but the PG-13 rating definitely hurts the movie. Even though he says that he worked from the beginning for it to be a PG-13 movie. Now, Tom Hardy's performance is good as Eddie Brock, except Tom Hardy's performance as Eddie Brock comes off as a little strange, a little weird. I don't know. I don't know who to put the blame on. Is it Tom Hardy who did a bad performance, or is this he just had a bad script? Is this what they wanted him to do? I know Tom Hardy's a great actor, so I would say that maybe he had a bad script. Now, when he becomes Venom, which by the way takes about an hour into the movie, on a 2 hour movie, it takes about an hour into the movie for him to finally become Venom. The Venom side of it, it's amazing. Tom Hardy does the voice for Venom, and it sounds great. He looks great. The CGI is not perfect, but honestly, it's hard to do a Venom movie, live action Venom movie. Regardless of how good special effects are nowadays, it's still hard to do it. And I think it looks good. You can tell it's all fake, but it looks okay. Like that's not the biggest problem this movie has. Um, so like I said, the Eddie Brock part of it, I wasn't very happy about it. I don't think it was a good portrayal. Again, I don't think it's Tom Hardy. I think it's the script that he was given. That's how they wrote the character, which was pretty bad. And it's funny because Tom Hardy and Michelle Williams are both amazing actors, but yet their characters have zero chemistry. They're supposed to be married, and I saw no chemistry there. Like, you know, and then the way the storyline progresses, it's just really out of place. Like things just happen, and there's almost no reason for things to be happening. So I'll leave it at that. I don't want to get into too many spoilers. And then Carlton Drake, which is the other main character. So he's in charge of the Life Foundation. I guess he's the owner or the CEO or whatever. And Riz Ahmed does a great job playing, the billionaire guy who believes that what he's doing is right. You know, so I want to say his performance was actually the one with the least amount of flaws. Yeah, his performance. Michelle Williams actually had a lot to do in this movie, a lot more than I expected. There's a couple things that I wasn't expecting to happen that end up happening with her. And overall the performances were okay, with the exception of I didn't like the Eddie Brock version that Tom Hardy portrays, and I'm really shocked that Sony wanted to go with the PG-13 rating because you've seen what Deadpool did, you've seen what Logan did with an R rating, and They should have gone with an R rating. I believe main part of the main reasons why they didn't do it, it's because they're hoping for Venom to eventually join forces with Spider-Man, and they want to keep it PG-13. But in order for you to achieve that, this movie has to do good. And with all the bad reviews that the movie's getting, is it gonna do good? Hopefully, it makes good money so that they can keep going. I don't think it's as bad as all the critics are saying, but it's not very good. So we go back to the action. There's three action set pieces in the movie. We've seen all three of them in the trailers. I would say the second one is probably the best one. You have the first scene when he just bonded with Venom. Then you have the second scene. We've seen all of these in the trailer. Then you have the second scene, Venom taking on some on a SWAT team, and of course you have the final boss fight. In put in video game terms, the final big fight against the other symbiote. And the last fight is all CGI, but it has to be. Like, there's no way around it. There's no practical effects you can do. I saw some reviews of people saying like, "Oh, I would have wanted more practical effects," and I was like, "Okay, could you like explain what you mean by that? Because how will you do a Venom versus another symbiote fight with practical effects? There's just no way. You have to do CGI." So I think for what they had to work with, I think it was okay. The action was okay. Now, I said before that it takes 1 hour for us to finally see Venom in the movie, but from the moment he comes on, seeing him in action is worth it. But they try to turn Venom into a comedian. He's cracking a lot of jokes, and the main tagline for this movie was "The world has enough superheroes," implying, okay, this is not another superhero movie because Venom's not a hero. But when you watch the movie, Venom is a hero. Like, he's he's a hero. Like, he is a superhero. He wants to help people. He's more on the good side than the bad side. So you know that was a little contradictory there. There were there were a lot of plot holes throughout the movie, things that just didn't make any sense. And again, so in conclusion, I believe that if you are a Venom fan, you're gonna be satisfied with seeing Venom on the big screen. Not the Topher Grace version we got in Spider-Man 3, but the Tom Hardy version. You're gonna be satisfied with seeing him because he looks cool. He's got a couple of great action sequences, but the rest of it you're gonna be very disappointed with as a Venom fan. Now, if you're not a big Venom fan, if you don't know that much about it, if you just know the character, then you might actually enjoy the movie more. So I think the least you know about Venom, the more you will enjoy this movie. And we're gonna see. We'll see how it does in the box office over the weekend. Again, at the time I'm filming this, it's got a 29% Rotten Tomatoes, which is pretty bad. Night School has 30, which yeah. But that's gonna be it for my non-spoiler movie review. There is two after credit scenes, one mid credits and then one after credits. But only the first one is Venom related. The second one is actually, I'm gonna tell you what it is because it has nothing to do with the movie. The second scene is it's a scene from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the animated Spider-Man movie coming out in December, I think. So if you're only interested in the Venom teaser, the sequel or whatever, you have to stay for the mid credits. You don't have to stay all the way through the end. And that scene actually, it's funny because that scene, it teases what's coming, but because of the way this was done, can you really get that excited? Well, we'll see. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you guys think the movie is as bad as everyone's saying? Did you guys enjoy it? And I'll catch you guys in the next one.